Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the One Divine Challenge. I'm your host Extra Mayo, and today's build showcases the Poison Blade Vortex Pathfinder. Without further ado, let's get started. Patch 3.21 Crucible League brought about a rework to the Pathfinder class, with many players considering that the Ascendancy was buffed overall. Though there were some changes, Pathfinder has retained its identity of being a flask-centric character that specializes in delivering deadly chaos damage. And that's exactly what today's build is going to be. This build will use Blade Vortex as a delivery mechanism for poisons, which will then spread to nearby enemies and cause them to explode when paired with our gear set. We'll also be leveraging our flask bonuses and regeneration to solve major holes in our character's defenses, such as elemental resistances, spell suppression, phasing, and evasion. This allows us to choose gear that's more affordable and offensively focused. The build will be focused around the body armor Dendrobate, which has some steep attribute requirements, but provides huge bonuses if you can meet those requirements. Dendrobate will max out our poison chance, increasing the damage and duration of our poisons. In fact, it's so effective, we can clear most content in the game on just a 5-link. Now, because we're relying on our flasks so heavily, we'll need to invest in the proper setup to make sure they're always in effect, so we never have downtime on our defenses. We'll be using a flask support belt and very specific affixes on our flasks to ensure they have 100% uptime. Once we get our belt and flask with the proper setups, we'll use instilling orbs at the crafting bench to automate the flasks, so all we have to do is activate them once upon entering a map and let Chris Wilson keep them permanently running for us. The 5th flask will be a life flask, and I personally recommend one that has instant recovery paired with bleed or poison immunity. It's also important to note we will need to incorporate 1 jewel with 3% increased mana reservation efficiency. Now let's discuss the build mechanics and playstyle. Casting Blade Vortex will create ethereal blades that orbit your character and damage anything they touch. You can have up to 10 blades circling around you at once, and more blades equals more damage. However, these blades only last a short duration before they expire, so you'll have to intermittently recast the spell to keep some blades active. The way this build plays is that you cast Blade Vortex and then shield charge through packs of enemies, spreading poisons along with your Blade Bearer, intermittently recasting every 3 or 4 seconds. If you encounter a boss or tanky rare, activate your Divine Blessing Malevolence, which will boost your damage and blade duration for a short time. You also have a Flame Dash as an emergency escape tool if needed. It's a pretty simple playstyle overall, but very effective. The total cost for this project at current market prices cost me 145 chaos, which left me with 45 chaos remaining. I recommend using leftover currency to invest in your preferred farming strategy. This build excels at farming content that spawns large group of monsters, such as Harvest, Expedition, Blight, Harbinger, and Eldritch Altar farming. Alternatives would be to save that money for the next immediate upgrades for the build, which would be in priority order: a 6-link Dendrobate, replacing your helmet with a well-crafted rare, or replacing your Ascendancy with an Eternal Struggle amulet that has good implicits. For our Ascendancy points, we'll start by taking Nature's Adrenaline, which is the foundation for everything we're trying to do with Pathfinder's Flask regeneration. Next, we move into Nature's Reprisal to automate our application of Wither and substantially increase its effect. Third, we take Master Toxicist for poison proliferation and a permanent 20% more poison damage. And finally, we take Nature's Boon to further amplify the effects of our magic utility flasks that are permanently running. Our skill tree focuses primarily on pathing towards the basic things our build needs to function. Those things include Chance to Poison, Flask recovery buffs, spell suppression and increased life, and then taking any damage nodes in the areas that we're pathing. Note that we are using Eldritch Battery, so we're also taking Aura Clusters to assist in reserving our entire mana pool for 3 50% auras. That will be further supported by a single jewel, as discussed earlier. So there you have it, the Poison Blade Vortex Pathfinder for under 1 Divine. The POB for this build will be linked in the description below. Please enjoy the upcoming gameplay demonstration, and I'll see you all in the next video.